top waiver wire priorities. Jamie, I'll kick it to you first.
Well, I mean, there are some guys like you mentioned that you could find on waivers still if they are there. Hawkinson and Waller would be two. Waller is available and still the threshold that we talk about under 65%. But Hawkinson, like you said, 76% owned. Tyrell Williams at 77% owned. I think those are two guys you can look at and feel comfortable with. If we're just talking about the guys that you should be able to find, John Brown would be number one for me. If Joe Mixon's out and you find out before tonight that the situation's worth, was probably not going to. I would say Giovanni Bernard should definitely be on your priority list. And then I think Jamison Crowder as well. I mean, you got to be excited about what he did in his debut with 17 targets and 14 catches. And if you just look at Adam Gase's track record, he loves slot receivers, and that's the slot receiver for the Jets.
I agree.
John
I
Brown,
like
Gio, and Crowder. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with everything he said. I think there's room. Let's just say that you won in week one and you've got Dante Pettis on your bench. You're tired of Eric Ebron already. You want to speculate on somebody, not somebody that you have to rush into your lineup. I think Marquise Brown's the guy. And I know he didn't play a lot of snaps in week one, but it's pretty clear that once he does start playing a lot of snaps, he's going to be matchup proof, provided that he can stay healthy, provided that Lamar Jackson can find him downfield. And those are kind of big ifs, of course, but I don't mind grabbing him and stashing him, knowing that he's 70% unowned in CBS leagues. He wouldn't be my top priority, especially if I needed lineup help this week. But if I didn't need that lineup help, I would strongly consider making a move for him.
Yeah, he can certainly help you this week against Arizona, as we saw. That their defense is not very good. But so Dave, you would rather have rest of season John Brown or Marquise Brown?
John Brown. I can't believe I said Brown to that. I'm such a moron. But John Brown, who I drafted in a lot of leagues, by the way, I liked him coming into the season as well. He looked good right away. Hopefully he keeps this up. I would also take Crowder over Marquise Brown, especially in PPR.
Okay, so you guys are in agreement there. John Brown and Jamison Crowder over Marquise Brown. Brown is Jamie's third highest ranked wide receiver. Now, that does not include Tyrell Williams. It doesn't include, where's Tyrell Williams? He's 77% owned. Let's say he's available.
Number one.
He's at the top. Yeah.
What was everybody doing? I mean, this is not us having a new take. I mean, we told you Heath had Tyrell as a sleeper for a while. But we told you as soon as there was a buzz about Antonio Brown not playing in week one, you got to go out and get Tyrell Williams, and the ownership did not rise enough.
Some leagues they lock waivers until after the first week, and I think that's part of it.
Really? I really don't think that's part of it. There can't be that many, because that was a week ago, right? When did we find out?
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, Adam, there are leagues that have those type of rules in place.
25% of our leagues, you think?
What's the explanation for it? I mean, there can't be that many 8-team leagues that people are playing in that you just don't have. I don't know. I mean, the thing with our leagues is because, of our site and what you have to do to play on our site in the commissioner leagues, these are very astute players.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I couldn't believe it, but still fine. Whatever the reason is, get him. How about let's say you're loaded. Like your team, whatever. You don't need anyone necessarily. Hawkinson's out there. Tyrell Williams is out there. Who's your priority?
Tyrell.
And it's a close call because Hawkinson's got the tight end designation makes him a position scarcity type of guy. But Tyrell just kind of proved that he can do what he did back in 2016, be that lead guy. Hawkinson might end up being the next Rob Gronkowski. I don't know if he's going over 100 and a tutty every week, though.
All right, let me get 3 more names up here because what we're going to do, if you're new to the show, we're going to go through each position at some point later on in the show. We're also going to recap Sunday night and Monday night football, 3 games to recap. But we'll go into each position. We'll give you quarterbacks. Quarterbacks aren't going to be the hot waiver wire ads. But DK Metcalf, who's probably right behind the 3 wide receivers we've talked about, John Brown, Jamison Crowder, and Marquise Brown. You got DK Metcalf. You have Ronald Jones. And and Chris Thompson, I guess we should probably talk about as well. And then, look, they're owned in about 77% of leagues, but I don't personally think it's a great week for DST streamers. So the Patriots DST, if they're available, It's definitely a DST. And this is the guy who had the Eagles DST on 6 rosters this first week, so take that for what it's worth. But the Patriots DST should definitely be a priority, but they are owned in more than 75% of leagues. But I guess those other names, Ronald Jones, Chris Thompson, DK Metcalf, do you feel like you'd be putting in claims or bids for all of them?
Yes.
I think, yeah, I think you can, and I think there's more names on top of that. I think it's a very deep waiver list this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost overwhelming. And then there's like Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson had 17 or more carries in 7 of his first 10 games last year. What do you think about Adrian Peterson? I know he's not great, but if he's going to get a lot of work, if he's going to get goal line work, he's something, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm just concerned about game flow. I think you're going to see a situation where they're chasing points, and he's not going to be great in that regard. You have to wonder how much of Guice's poor performance was the knee, or how much just that they're not going to be able to be very good running the ball.
And their next 2 games are Dallas and Chicago, so that's not great for Adrian Peterson. It's probably better for Chris Thompson.